Hello again. Doing another video on this whole Avatar thing. Because I should have done it right after I saw the movie. When everything was really, really fresh in my mind. I mean, a lot of stuff still is. But it's been boiling inside me, all of this stuff. Because I saw it 2 weekends ago. And like I said, I gave it every possible chance to impress me or to make me think that it might have been worth $15 to see, even though I don't pay for it, and thank you to the person who did pay for it, so that I didn't have to go out of pocket to see this piece of shit. I get, like, okay, let me just explain to you a little bit about my viewing experience. We went, it was like a Saturday night or Friday night or something. Surprisingly, it was crowded. It was definitely crowded, and it was definitely a sold-out show, but we were lucky. We got good seats. Now, what I was confused about was the fact that it wasn't in digital 3D. And they gave us these big scuba mask-looking 3D glasses that were very painful to wear, and they were pinching me, like, right here, and I had to keep readjusting them. But again, that's not the movie's fault. I understand that. So, but we went to the IMAX 3D. And I don't know if that maybe is the reason that it couldn't also be digital 3D, but I think I saw Up in an IMAX 3D theater, and that was digital 3D. And now the last thing, well, I'd seen Up, but the last thing that was 3D that really impressed me was Coraline. I thought that movie and its use of 3D was fantastic. Because, you know, a lot of 3D movies, they do that shock 3D. That, oh, well, I'm popping out at you, and, like, here's a knife that I happen to have. Like, the funniest is when you watch something that was made that was a 3D movie when it was in the theaters, but it now is on video, that you can tell the parts that were supposed to have been in 3D. I mean, not only because of the fact that sometimes they still have the cues in the movie, but, like, my favorite one to watch is Freddy's Dead. Because there's the part when they're going through all of the, like, the stash of weapons that they have in the youth crisis center, and the blonde girl's like, oh, I have a knife! And we have a baseball bat that's got spikes in it, and it's like so ridiculous to watch. Whereas in Coraline, like, there were some pop-out moments, but they weren't done in a way that you couldn't still appreciate the scare or the pop-out when watching it at home. And that, meanwhile, they just used it. I love how they used it, because it was just this gorgeous depth of field that the digital 3D was able to accomplish. So really, and I was I knew that the story would have, that the plot and the writing was going to be awful. I knew that going in. So I was like, maybe at least it'll be a fun ride. It'll be something exciting to look at. It'll fuck my brain up in a way that it'll make it think that it's flying through this, I don't even want to say gorgeous planet, this interesting planet. Now, we went into the theater. The first of the 3D previews that they showed us was for Hubble IMAX. And when I tell you that I got chills just watching this preview, I mean, because the whole thing with the IMAX 3D is that because of the fact that the screen is bent, it can give a greater depth of field with the 3D, or something like that. So, I mean, the first shot was a shot of the Hubble, and it was sitting in my lap. It was it was the deepest, closest to my face kind of 3D that I've ever experienced. And that I cannot wait until that comes out, because, I mean, that it looked fantastic. And the little astronauts working on the Hubble, and it's right in my face. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be worth the $15 that we spent on it. You know, maybe this, just for the way that the 3D is going to look in our faces, it's going to be worth it. So they showed a couple of other previews. Then the movie started. And I was like, oh, Well, what happened to all that awesome 3D that preview had? I mean, it was like a pop-up book. It was like there was this very flat foreground layer and this very flat background layer, and no depth of field between them, and nothing that really made me feel that I was in this atmosphere. And I know that there were attempts to make you feel like you were in that atmosphere. The little bugs in the atmosphere of the planet trying to, like, you know, the little specks of things. But they were still so far away and so disconnected from themselves in that. That, like I said, it was like this background layer and this foreground layer, and I'm like, why is everybody going crazy about this 3D? It's not really that impressive. And I'm just like, is it me? I mean, the other 3D stuff that I saw, the preview that preceded the film, was fantastic. Where is that 3D in this movie? And I'm just like, what, like, I didn't get it. I was just, like, flabbergasted by the fact that this just was so unimpressive. Because, I mean, the one thing that I was, like, trying to say before I saw the movie, I was like, even if it's fun to watch in the theater, watching this movie when you get it home is going to be like watching somebody's videotape of Space Mountain. It's not even going to be that. It is not even to that level of being a ride or being any kind of, like, interesting experience. It was so bad. Like, it was so... like, I don't... What is... Like, seriously, guys, that people who saw this movie... Like, what? Really? Like, oh, how were you so impressed with this? Now, I got a couple of... I got a particular message from a friend of mine on the first video that I did last night, saying, like, oh, well, there's nothing original anymore, and if you had seen this movie when you were 15, you would have just enjoyed it for the experience. No. There were movies that I enjoyed for the experience when I was 15, and they all had writing in them. They were all movies that seemed to have had a script attached, because this one didn't. And as for this notion, and I want to kind of leave this for the next video, because I am doing a part 3. Oh my god, there are so many videos today. Is the fact that there was another movie that came out this year that had a lot of similar themes to Avatar, and I think accomplished so much in this simplified form that Avatar couldn't do with the millions of dollars that it made. And let me just also say that everybody's going nuts about, like, oh, this is the biggest box office opening in ticket sales, and it made all of this money. And it's like, but are they really factoring in the fact that whereas the average movie is maybe between $7 and $10 to see, this one's between $15 and $20 to see? Like, I don't know. So, until 2 seconds from now, when I do this third video, and I might split these up so that I'm not just putting them all on YouTube at the same time. But, until next time, folks, Pam and Jet signing out.